Hello, guys. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, good evening, everyone. So, sorry. Normally, we do the webinars in the morning. So, yeah. Anyways, good evening. And today, in this webinar, we will be learning about the insider trading. And I think, learning about insider trading at this point of time is extremely important. And I think that was one of the reason why I chose this topic for today. So as you know markets are falling apart, and generally in this time, that's where the patient the conviction of the promoters are tested. So typically when the market falls and the share prices falls a lot, that's where eventually there is value that emerge for the company. And if the promoters see value in their company, they take some actions. Basically they buy from open market, or if they feel that their company is overvalued, they sell in the open market. And that results into insider trading activity, which gets captured by the exchanges. And that is the data that we basically show on strike as well. So just to clarify, this webinar will be both in Hindi and English. Basically I'll be using both the language simultaneously. So so make sure to be there till the end. I'm very sure this webinar will provide a lot of value to you. So just for our Hindi viewers as well, uh, ये टॉप आई मीन इस टॉपिक में हम इंसाइडर ट्रेडिंग की बात करेंगे, बिकॉज इंसाइडर ट्रेडिंग से आपको ये समझ में आता है कि प्रमोटर्स का अपने बिजनेस पे कितना कन्विक्शन है। बिकॉज जब भी बुल मार्केट या बेयर मार्केट आता है, तब हमेशा स्टॉक प्राइसेस कोई कोई एक एक्सट्रीम पे पहुंच जाते हैं। सो से फॉर एग्जांपल अभी हमने देखा है कि मार्केट में करेक्शन आया है, जिसकी वजह से बहुत सारे स्टॉक्स 30, 40, 50% गिर चुके हैं। Some of the promoters are coming and they are buying from the market, whereas abhi bhi, despite the correction, there are many promoters that are coming and selling from the market, right? So तो इससे आपको एक प्रमोटर का बिहेवियर समझता है टुवर्ड्स देयर बिजनेस। एंड ये चीज़ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड टू ट्रैक द कंपनी। बिकॉज जब कोई प्रमोटर हर बार एंड हमेशा प्रमोटर्स का एक टिपिकल बिहेवियर होता है। जैसे कि कोई कंपनीज ऐसे होते हैं जिनके प्रमोटर स्टॉक बेचते नहीं हैं इन द मार्केट, बट जब जब भी वो गिरते हैं 20, 30, 40%, तब दे कम एंड दे स्टार्ट बाइंग फ्रॉम द ओपन मार्केट। वेर एज कुछ प्रमोटर्स ऐसे होते हैं जो जिसका स्टॉक प्राइस बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है, देन दे कम एंड दे स्टार्ट सेलिंग इन द मार्केट। बिकॉज उनको पता चल जाता है कि ये कंपनी के शेयर प्राइसेस बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ चुके हैं, एंड शायद अब इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा वैल्यू नहीं है, तो उनको सॉर्ट ऑफ वो एनकैश करना रहता है देयर प्रॉफिट्स, एंड दैट्स वेयर दे सेल इट। एंड जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि ये सारे डेटा हमें एक्सचेंजेस से मिलते हैं, एंड वही चीज़ हम स्ट्राइक पे भी डिस्प्ले करते हैं। तो लेट मी नॉट वेस्ट माई टाइम एंड क्विकली शेयर माई स्क्रीन। सो ये जो बेसिकली ये जो डेटा रहता है, ये अगर आप एक बार स्ट्राइक में आप लॉग इन करोगे, तो आपको यहाँ पे डिस्कवर में जाके, बुलेटिन बोर्ड में जाके, डील्स एंड इनसाइडर्स, ओके, ये स्क्रीन दिखेगा जहाँ पे इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग होता है। एंड ये सारे जो भी एक्सचेंजेस के डे ऑन डे डेटा आते हैं, ये हम एंड ऑफ द डे जब भी एक्सचेंज से डेटा आता है तब हम अपलोड करते हैं। तो जस्ट टू गिव यू अ समरी, इसमें सपोज प्रमोटर ने कोई एक दिन पे बाय किया है, वो दिया जाता है विच इज कॉल्ड एज एक्विजिशन डेट। प्रमोटर किस डेट पे डिस्क्लोज कर रहा है, विच मीन्स के ऐसा हो सकता है कि प्रमोटर ने आज लिया हो बट वो एक महीने बाद डिस्क्लोज कर रहा हो, तो दैट इज व्हाट द डिस्क्लोजर डेट इज। यूजुअली द नेक्स्ट डे प्रमोटर डिस्क्लोजेस, बट देर आर मेनी प्रमोटर्स who have this habit of not disclosing at the directly next day, but वो कुछ दिनों बाद डिस्प्ले करते हैं। एंड देन ये कौन से स्टॉक में ये हो रहा है, कौन से स्टॉक में वो स्टॉक में इन्वेस्टर कौन है जो बाय सेल कर रहा है, और वो इन्वेस्टर किस कैटेगरी में फॉल होता है। तो इसमें अलग अलग कैटेगरीज है, फिर वो बाय कर रहे हैं, सेल कर रहे हैं, या उनको ईसॉप मिल रहा है. सो मोड ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन इज देयर, transaction type is there, which means acquisition and disposal. फिर कितने क्वांटिटी बाय कर रहे हैं, क्या प्राइस पे बाय कर रहे हैं, क्या वैल्यू बन रहा है, एंड इनके प्री एंड पोस्ट ट्रांजैक्शन में कितने परसेंटेज चेंज का फर्क पड़ा है. तो ये सारे चीज हम डिस्प्ले करते हैं. तो बिफोर गेटिंग इनटू दिस कॉन्सेप्ट, मैं बस एक ही मतलब मैं ये चीज़ बताना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे स्ट्राइक पे राइट नाउ एन ऑफर इज रनिंग वेयर वी आर गिविंग आउट deep discounts, especially for the people who are attending this webinar. So for 1 year, the price is 4200, which is almost a discount of around 37% of our current price, and that is for 1 year. Okay, और 6 महीने के लिए 2500 पे है, and all these rates are inclusive of GST. So you will get a link in the chat box, as you can see over here. So you can go over there and you can make the payment. So as soon as you do the payment, just put a comment over here that you have paid it. हमारे बैकएंड से जो भी मेंबर्स रहेंगे, वो आपको बेसिकली एक्सेस दे देंगे, जिससे कि आप ये स्कीम में आप एक्सेस कर पाओगे. बट जस्ट मेक श्योर कि जैसे ही आप पेमेंट करो तो प्लीज यहाँ पे लिख देना, सो दैट दे कैन क्विकली एक्टिवेट इट. एंड ऑल्सो फॉर पीपल हु वांट टू स्कैन इट, सो स्कैन यहाँ पर आप कर सकते हो, एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो मेक अस पेमेंट थ्रू दैट. And mind you, in Strike we cover everything, which is technical, fundamental, sentiment data, and so on. So you get this entire package in just 4200 for 1 year and 2500 for 6 months. So if anyone wants to do a if anyone wants to pay through the QR code, they can just simply scan it and pay it. So I'll just keep this for a couple of seconds. Okay, so now we'll get back to the insider trading. And yes, Premal Desai, as you have correctly mentioned that alerts are not there. So eventually we will do that. Right now, we have repeatedly mentioned this in many of the webinars. Our focus is to get the entire system time down to 1 minute delayed data. So futures section is done, option is something we are testing. Dashboard, the work is going on. So in few weeks time you will see the entire system coming down to the 1 minute delayed data. And once we do that, उसके बाद हम नए features will start rolling out. But in the next few weeks, that is our focus point, and we acknowledge that there is some slowness in the system. So that is what we are trying to address by moving all this data to 1 minute delayed snapshot. And after that, you won't see the bugs, and hopefully it should be a very seamless sort of system. But until then, please bear with us, because that is a near term priority, and once we do that, we'll definitely start rolling out new features. So coming to the insider trades, as I mentioned to you, for the people who have joined new, go to the discover section, go to bulletin boards. Over there you will see deals and insiders, and within deals and insider there is a tab called as insider trades. Okay, so that's where you will get the entire information. अब जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया कि बुल मार्केट में क्या होता है कि बहुत सारी स्टोरी बनती है, एंड वो स्टोरी पे स्टॉक रैली करता है. वो केस में ऐसे भी हो सकता है कि you won't actually get the numbers, but वो स्टोरी ही इतना स्ट्रांग रहता है कि वो स्टोरी के बेसिस पे स्टॉक स्टार्ट्स रैलिंग अ लॉट, एंड उसका बहुत ज़्यादा आगे का अर्निंग डिस्काउंट होने लगता है, ड्यू टू विद द शेयर प्राइजेस sort of reflects 4, 5, 6 years का ग्रोथ well in advance. एंड जब ऐसे सिचुएशंस होते हैं तो होता ये है कि वैल्यूएशंस एकदम हाई हो जाते हैं। एंड कभी कभार जब ऐसा होता है तो प्रमोटर्स को भी लगता है कि द स्टॉक मार्केट हैज प्रोबेबली डिस्काउंटेड अ लॉट of the future, and that's where they sort of come and they sell in the market, uh, and that's how they actually encash it. Okay. एंड यही इसका ऑपोजिट ये है कि जब भी बेयर मार्केट होता है तो बहुत सारा पेसिमिज्म हो जाता है इन द मार्केट। सो उसके वजह से कभी कभार ऐसे भी हो सकता है कि वो स्टॉक्स को बहुत ज़्यादा वो स्टॉक में एक्चुअली बहुत ज़्यादा करेक्शन आता है, सच दैट कि अगर उसका वैल्यू मान लो 100 है, ठीक है, तो वो एक्चुअली अपने वैल्यू के बिलो फॉल हो जाता है। एंड दैट्स वेयर प्रमोटर्स come into the market and they start buying their stock. So as a in terms of sentimental impact, whenever the promoter come and they sell in the market, it is viewed negatively in general, because अगर आप ही सोचिए कि अगर वो बिजनेस इतना स्ट्रांग है एंड इट इज गोइंग टू ग्रो, देन व्हाई विल द प्रमोटर सेल, राइट? तो हमें हमेशा ये देखना है कि प्रमोटर क्या कर रहा है, बिकॉज प्रमोटर से अच्छा उसके बिजनेस को और कोई नहीं जान सकता है, right? And that is why try to track the promoter activity and you will get a lot of insights. So this is something I had learned many years back through one of my friend, and he used to track this data very closely and he taught me to track this data. um, and तब से every time what I do is that हर सुबह I spare some time and I see what are the activities that are going on. In fact, now on strike also we are posting the data, so all those people who are following us on strike, they may notice this, but if you all don't follow us, please follow us. Our handle is strike underscore IC. So यहाँ पे if you see, there are a lot of insights that we give, and also you can see over here the insider trading activities that we post. So you can see the promoters who are selling the stock or the promoters they are buying the stock. So we compile the list and we provide it every day. So that should help you save a lot of time, and just through a glance you can surely get a lot of insights from the post that we put it, and hopefully you will find it very useful as well. So when we go to strike, as I mentioned to you that whenever, so when we actually see this screen, तो मैं हमेशा ये फिल्टर्स लगाता हूँ, जैसे कि कौन सा कंपनी एक्विजिशन कर रहा है या बाइंग कर रहा है, और ये प्रमोटर ग्रुप। सो इसमें मैं तीन फिल्टर डालता हूँ: प्रमोटर, प्रमोटर एंड डायरेक्टर एंड प्रमोटर ग्रुप। ओके, तो ये सारे चीज़ों में मैं एक्टिविटी देखता हूँ, एंड आई ट्राई टू सी द मोड ऑफ पेमेंट, एंड आई ऑल्सो ट्राई टू सी द मोड ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन। तो इसमें जनरली मैं मार्केट सेल एंड मार्केट परचेज, इसी पे मैं ज़्यादा फोकस करता हूँ, while I put all the other things I focus more on market sales and market purchase, क्योंकि इसमें कभी कभी ये अलॉटमेंट भी आता है जिसमें कि अगर उन्होंने कुछ प्रेफरेंशियल अलॉटमेंट दिया रहता है तो ये सारे पता चलने लगते हैं। एंड इसमें बाकी अगर आप देखो तो ये सारे रहते हैं कि कन्वर्जन ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज एंड सो ऑन। सो इसमें यू कैन गेट इनटू अ बिट डिटेल्ड एनालिसिस लेटर, बट broadly when you do this, okay, you get a fair idea of what the stocks are doing. Okay, I mean what are the promoters in the stock that are doing. So जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया कि मैं ये बहुत ज़्यादा करके मैं देखता हूँ, तो इसमें जब when I was trying to analyze the stocks, so इसमें एक नेम जो मुझे दिखा, that was पैसा लो डिजिटल। Okay, so you can see over here they have been continuously buying from the open market. ये बीच में इन्होंने बंद किया था बिकॉज वो रिजल्ट्स जब भी अनाउंस होते हैं तब उनके उसके थोड़े दिन पहले और थोड़े दिन बाद आप नहीं ले सकते हो, दैट इज द सेबी गाइडलाइंस। but they have been buying continuously from the market. And as you can see that they have accumulated almost at every levels, in this case. And even if you see the earnings, okay, so if I see over here Paisa low digital, and see, one thing I want to make it very clear, whatever we discuss, whatever stocks we discuss, by no means this is a recommendation. This is just to give you a framework of how to look at things, okay, and how to screen the stocks, and how to figure out whether this company is good, bad, or whether their intentions are correct or no. Because I will also show you the companies जो यहाँ पे buy करते हैं, ठीक है, ये बताने के लिए कि okay that we are buying, so that gives a sentimental boost, but their numbers are worst, and there is no improvement that is happening over there, okay. So वहाँ पे ऐसे भी कंपनीज देखने मिलेंगे. सो दैट इज वाई यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल व्हेन यू आर एनालाइजिंग दिस. सो जब मैं देख रहा था पैसा लो और डिजिटल, ओके, व्हेन आई वाज ट्राइंग टू सी द फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ दैट, एंड आई वाज ट्राइंग टू सी their results, their annual P&L, and you can see over here that their profits are growing very rapidly in the past 2-3 years, okay. And this has resulted into share price also moving higher, okay. So you can see over here the share price, I mean, that has also seen a big run up post 2020, but recently there has been a meaningful decline, and the stock has fallen more than 50% or so. And that's where you can actually see the promoters coming and buying the stocks from the open market, right? So this was one. Then if i if I see many other companies as well. So one of them, and this was slightly puzzling, because जब मैं सारे मैं फिल्टर्स में हटा दूं और मैं खाली मैं वो कंपनी पे मैं फोकस करूं. सो वन वाज जिंदाल ड्रिलिंग, ओके. सो इसमें इवन sorry, 1 minute. So if you see over here, this was Jindal Drilling. Okay. The puzzling part was for me was that कि ये प्रमोटर ने पहले भी थोड़े शेयर्स बेचे थे, लाइक यू कैन सी ओवर हियर, आई मीन वो बेचते थे, कोई लेता था, एंड सो ऑन. बट दिस वाज अ लिटिल पजलिंग फॉर मी व्हाट वाज हैपनिंग, बट आई कुड सी दैट, मतलब एक इसमें यही पॉजिटिव था कि जितना बेच रहा था कोई सामने वाला, तो उतना उतना वही ग्रुप से कोई तो ले रहा था, तो देयर वाज समथिंग हैपनिंग ओवर देयर. बट ब्रॉडली इफ यू सी, there was acquisition of stock that was going on, okay. So over here there was this inter promoter basically buying, selling, but at the same time there was more buying of 1,50,000 stock. But I think actually this was displayed sold by this, and basically there was some buying that was happening. And over here basically the results were also decent. Then the other one was JSL, which is Jindal Stainless Steel. So over here as well, earlier they were buying, and now there has been a little bit of selling, but once again they are buying. So as I mentioned to you, you always need to look at this in a net totality basis, okay, what is happening. But broadly I could see that they had again come and they had started to buy. See, I don't consider designated person or employee, or I mean, I don't take them very seriously, because होता ये है कि उनको ईसॉप्स मिलने वाला रहता है, राइट. एंड ईसॉप्स मिलने के लिए टू फंड इट दे सेल सम ऑफ देयर होल्डिंग, बिकॉज यू इमेजिन दिस वे कि उनके पास अभी करंट, अगर उन्हें पहले शेयर्स अलॉट किया गया है, ठीक है, तो वो मान लो उसका करंट रेट 600 है, बट उन्हें ईसॉप्स मिलते हैं 150 में, ठीक है. सो एनी नेचुरल गाय, वो व्हाट दे विल डू इज दैट कि वो उतने जितना 150 को फंड करने के लिए शेयर्स चाहिए, इफ दे डोंट हैव एक्सेस कैश, तो what they'll do is that वो 600 को बेचेंगे एंड उसी पैसे से उन लोग ESOPs बाय करेंगे, राइट? So that is why I don't really give them a lot of importance. But yes, promoter group, promoter and director, whatever they are doing, we need to track their activities very closely. The other stock that I had seen was Snowman Logistic. So this, you can see that they have been trying to buy from the open market since a while now, and you can see that broadly between 53 and 75, they had been buying. And like I told to you कि जब ये result season होता है तब generally ये activity कम हो जाता है, because due to the SEBI regulations that they put. I don't know कि वो रिजल्ट के बाद भी कुछ कूल ऑफ पीरियड रहता है, बट रिजल्ट के पहले सर्टेनली आई थिंक 30 या 45 डेज पहले दे हैव टू स्टॉप बाइंग, राइट? तो इसके लिए आपको ऐसे दिख रहा है, बट आई थिंक द मेन थिंग टू ट्रैक इज दैट जब ये रिजल्ट सीजन ओवर हो जाता है और उसके 5-10 दिन बाद देन यू कैन स्टार्ट वॉचिंग if the promoters are again coming and buying back, or was this a one off. But like I told you, I mean, most of the time you see the moves in the stock, and uske pehle these promoters come and they buy into the stock. So one of the example was Asian Energy. Okay, this I had seen quite a while back, but you can see over here क्या हो रहा था ये 2021 2022, इसमें almost you can see that around 120 130, or whenever it was in 90s, that's where they were buying. And then eventually at higher level, promoters sold a bit, but it was mainly all the designated people, they were selling. And if you see the share price, okay, Asian Energy Service, let me take it in BSC. So you can see over here okay, somewhere over here they were buying since 2022. Feb 2022 is where they had started buying actively. Feb 2022. So somewhere over here जब ये बड़ा एक कैंडल आया था, and then you can see that in the next few months, the stock almost tripled. So basically, the low that it had made was around 51, and the high which it ended up forming was 444. Okay, and in fact, even if you see the results, let me open a new tab. Asian Energy. And you can see the results after 20. So this is where they had started to buy, but after that they turned around the company, and you can see that in past few quarters from loss they have come into profit, and they are delivering profit. Okay, so ये सारी चीजें क्या प्रमोटर को खुद को पता रहता है कि how their business is gonna shape up. एंड दैट इज वाई यहाँ पर तो आप देखोगे कि ये लॉसेस करते थे, फिर भी प्रमोटर आके ओपन मार्केट से बाय कर रहा था, बट ग्रेजुअली यू कैन सी दैट द परफॉर्मेंस ऑल्सो वॉज वेरी गुड, एंड दैट लेड टू अ स्टॉक प्राइस राइजिंग हायर. एंड some of it was encashed by the promoter, like you can see over here, right? You can see over here that there was some selling that happened, and the others also were selling a bit. But yeah, broadly, if you see this, I mean, it does give some sort of indication. One of the things, this I think I had even mentioned in my previous webinar, it was Stell Holding. Okay, this promoter only comes and they buy from the market. Almost every time they'll come, and whenever the stock falls, they'll come and they'll buy from the market. Okay, and you could see the performance of the share price. Still holding. Now, this has been inching higher one way, and it has moved up a lot. I mean, almost, if you see over here the acquisition, throughout 21 20, In fact, even earlier also they used to do it, all the way from 2018 or so. And you can see the rates at which they used to buy 100, 105. Then even at higher levels also they came and they buy. Okay, but their larger buying happened, somewhere around these area, around this area. And then, we had seen a good move. In fact, if I'm not wrong, even Bajaj Holding, the promoter used to come and they buy from the open market, as you can see over here. And we all know, the kind of move that Bajaj Holding has seen. Even if you see it in 2018-19. So, this was another company that was buying. Then, if I remember correctly, there was one more company, cement company. Yeah, it was Mangalam Cement. Okay, they used to come and they used to buy from the open market. So especially you can see that after 2019, ये समय के बाद actually they started buying a lot. And major of the buying, if you see, was somewhere in the range of 190 to 400 sort of. Okay, इसके बीच में भी उन्होंने buy किया था, but broadly that was the range. And then if you see the share price of Mangalam Cement, okay, you can see over here. Now they broadly bought it somewhere around this zone. And in fact, even in this decline they were buying, and eventually the stock rallied all the way to 1000. So स्पेशली मैं इसमें यही देखता हूँ कि अगर इसमें कुछ पैटर्न बन रहा है, सो से फॉर, I mean, you see a multi-year breakout over here, and then you know there is this basically this pattern that is forming, and the promoters are buying. So eventually, at some point of time, this range is going to break out on the upside. That would be the assumption. So of course, you need to see the pedigree of the management and so on. But ये जो भी स्टॉक जो बाइंग करते हैं, एटलीस्ट वो आपके स्क्रीनर में आ जाना चाहिए, और इट शुड कम इनटू योर वॉच लिस्ट एंड सी व्हाट दिस प्रमोटर आर डूइंग on a regular basis, and see the performance, and try to find out from the annual report or something what do they do, and you know what is it that they are planning to do, and are they doing what they are saying. So all these things you can do secondarily, but ये स्क्रीन से आके एटलीस्ट आप उसे स्कैन करने को आपको मिल जाएगा, एंड दिस विल कम टू योर रडार. This is one example that I give almost every time when I do this. So it is Shakti Pumps. This is one promoter which, and मैंने ये आपको पहले भी बताया था कि ऐसे promoters होते हैं जो कभी आके sell नहीं करते हैं, but they just come and they buy from the open market. Okay, rarely you will see them selling, but whatever selling that you see is either from the director or some other entity. See, this is gift basically. ये इन्होंने इंटर ट्रांसफर किया रहेगा, but usually they don't sell it in the they don't sell it in the open market. In fact, they only keep on buying from the open market. And if you see their share price, in fact, I have even started recently seeing their activity once again, because when I was trying to check this, I saw that Shakti Pump has been a multi-bagger. I think there is no doubt about that. From a low of almost around 18, it has moved up to 1300. Okay. In fact, जब ये भी decline आ रहा था, okay, the promoters were constantly buying from the open market. You can see over here from 2017, they have been consistently buying from the open market. Somewhere around this. And as the fall was becoming bigger, they kept on buying more and more stocks at lower levels. You can see the levels over here, 181 and so on. So ये सारे levels पे the promoters went and they bought it, and then we saw a massive move. And in fact, अभी recently भी अगर आप देखो तो यहाँ पर भी एक अच्छा खासा correction हुआ है from 1400 to 850 or so. And that's where now you are again seeing their name appearing in this insider trade list. So that way you can spot this stock very easily. All you need to do is that just spend 5 minutes in the morning, और जस्ट आके देख लो. So just for the people who might have logged in a little late for this webinar, डिस्कवर में जाके बुलेटिन बोर्ड में जाके इनसाइडर ट्रेड्स. ओके, that is where you will see all this information. And and like I told you, I mean, there is always two sides to the coin, right? You will see a lot of promoters that will come and that will sell in the market as well. Okay, this one I had spotted long back. It was MTR Tech. If you see over here, if you put a filter of promoters, you can see over here that they have been consistently coming and they are selling in the market. 1880, 2200, 2100, and they have been selling. In fact, I was surprised that गिरने के बाद भी वो सेल करते जा रहे थे. So I am not sure, honestly, what are they up to, but but I mean, this was a bit surprising for me. तो उसमें तो इसलिए मैंने जाके MR Tech में ओवरव्यू, आई मीन, आई जस्ट वेंट टू द स्टॉक पेज एंड यहाँ पे मैंने उनका शेयर होल्डिंग देखा. एंड देन आई सॉ ऑल द वे फ्रॉम 50. ओके, उन्होंने अपना जो स्टेक है वो घटा के 31 कर दिया. नाउ दिस इज अ बिग रेड फ्लैग. And if you see, okay, even in the fundamentals, you can see that their profits almost आधा हो गए. Okay, if it was a strong promoter and if this was some due to some cyclical slowdown or something, they would have come and they would have bought the stock, but instead वो relentlessly sell ही कर रहे हैं. Okay, you can see over here on 12th of December. So if you see MTR Tech, 12th of December, basically, somewhere around this point. So such bigger decline, but they kept on selling, and you can see that the stock is still going down only. So basically, these are not good signs, especially when they sell the stock. The other one that caught my eye was GP Petro. Okay, you can see इन्होंने अभी भी बेचा है. Okay, there is this DHP as well. So I will show you both of their activity. So DHP India, this also you can see. So इसमें you can't see a big quantum of selling, but थोड़ा बहुत selling तो हो रहा है, right? So this raises a question कि what is happening. The other one that I mentioned to you was GP Petro. Okay, you can see over here that they have been constantly selling, since November 2024. And in fact, prior to that also they sold a bit, but majorly सब कुछ 2024 के बाद ही selling हो रहा है. So again, when I see GP Petro and I see their shareholding, so you can see that from 72, the promoter holding went down to all the way to 48. Okay, and this is not a good sign. So ऐसे स्टॉक्स से हमें थोड़ा आइडियली संभल के रहना चाहिए, बिकॉज देयर इज समथिंग that is going on, and it really needs some good level of investigation. The other one, that I was a bit surprised when I saw the name, that was Page Industry. So Page Industry also, if you see, they have been selling in the open market since a while now. Okay, they even sold some part in November and in December as well. And you can see Page Industry, it has been lagging. And broadly, if you see, ये जो top बना उसके बाद, it has literally done nothing. So somewhere, like I mentioned to you, कि promoter को भी पता चल जाता है कि whether their business is richly valued in the market, or when they see that market उसको बहुत ज़्यादा PE assign कर रहा है, या it has run up a lot as compared to its earning, then even promoters are tempted to encash some profit. And these promoters will sometime come and they will buy from the open market as well, when they feel that the stock has fallen a lot. But you will see this activity. In fact, there was one stock called as Pritika Auto. this was, I mean, I used to hear about this stock every time on Twitter. But then when I saw, they were constantly coming and they were selling in the open market. And again, I mean, this stock has fallen a lot. So Kritika Auto, if you see, it has seen a meaningful correction from the top. In fact, there is this company called as DOMS, which basically makes the crayon and so on. So over here as well, you can see that this was a market sale, and in one shot they actually sold off, almost around 4% or so, 4.5% or so. So again, I mean, and this why it came to my notice was because this was one of a very good performing stock, a richly valued stock. The other one was PG Electroplast, which is also called so called as Dixon of, you know a small cap Dixon probably, and that's where I think, there was a bit of selling that I had seen over here. Wait, let me see why is it not coming. But even in PGIL, when I had seen PG Electroplast, okay, if you see the shareholding over here, from 61% it has fallen all the way to 49.37%, right? So whenever you see this high flyers, basically, even if you see the chart of this PG Electro, this had seen a one-way rally almost in 2024, not even a year back. It was 143, and almost a 10x kind of return in a year. So ऐसे सब stocks में जब ये constantly promoter decrease होते जाता है holding, so these are all worrisome signs that you need to keep a track on. But like I mentioned to you, मतलब आप खाली बस ये यहाँ पे आओगे and जस्ट आप एक नजर मार लोगे, क्योंकि हर दिन यू वोंट सी अ लॉट ऑफ एंट्री. ओके, यू कैन सी ओवर योर दैट डिस्क्लोजर डेट इज 14. So these are all the stocks, which basically got displayed, I mean, which was being given to us by the exchange. So in this case, actually, we are seeing a lot of entries. But as I mentioned to you, filter it out by promoter and director and promoter group. Okay, once you do this and you see what is happening, in fact, यहाँ पर भी acquisition by sell and dispose, sorry, डिस्पोजल. सो बस यही आपको देखना है कि यहाँ पे कौन से ऐसे स्टॉक्स है जो आपके नज़र में आ रहे हैं. जैसे कि आई जस्ट सॉ टुडे ओनली that green ply had come to this list, but when I saw, I mean, I did not see a meaningful buying from them. But this is definitely that is worth keeping an eye on, because ये पहले buy कर रहे थे नीचे के levels में. But now recently they have again started buying some activities. So if you see a follow through over here, maybe it can be interesting. So if I see green ply, so you can see that the stock has corrected all the way from 400 to almost 250 sort of levels, and it has seen a meaningful correction, right? So probably this can be something that can come to your radar. So as I told you, it is not that के इन लोग बाय करते हैं तो it will start rising higher. They usually try to buy when the stock is in a down cycle. So if you're a medium to long term investor, okay, that's where you will tend to benefit, because promoters are not something who will be happy with 10, 15, 20 to 30% kind of return. They, if they will buy, they will buy for 100, 200, 500% kind of move. In fact, it would be a much more longer time horizon. And as you could see from the stocks like Shakti Pump and so on, right, उन्होंने जब भी बाय किया था उसके बाद न जाने कितने एक्स हो गए रहेंगे रिटर्न इन टर्म्स ऑफ रिटर्न्स. So that is where I think insider trading का activity track करना becomes important. And this time, honestly, I am a bit surprised, because despite market meaningfully correcting, I'm not seeing the buying that I used to see probably in 2019 or so. Because in 2019 a lot of promoters were coming and they were buying the stock, and you could get a hint that probably the market is has battered those stocks way too much. And in fact, even right now, I mean, I'll just deviate for a couple of minutes. But if you see all the sentiment indicators, okay, these are all pointing out towards extreme, extreme pessimism. So at some point of time, probably there should be a reversal, because, like you see the FIs shorting, the shorting has been to the levels which we have never seen it before. Okay, and ये हमने entire data हमने एक्चुअली एडजस्ट किया है बेस्ड ऑन द लॉट साइज चेंज, बिकॉज जो आपको एक्सचेंज जो भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स देता है, सो दैट इज आई मीन दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स. ओके, सो अगर मैं ये 1,89,000 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स देखता हूँ, तो दैट इज द द नंबर ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स दैट आर ओपन. बट उसको जब आप ओपन इंटरेस्ट के साथ इंटू करोगे, तब आपको वो लाइक टू लाइक फिगर मिलता है. बट बिकॉज एनएससी हमें कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स में ही देता है, तो जब 25 का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट था तब एक वैल्यू रहता था, एंड अब जब 75 का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो गया है, तो तब एक वैल्यू होना चाहिए. सो वी बेसिकली एडजस्ट दोज entire data based on the contract changes, contract size changes. So as you can see, there are I mean, I'm seeing a lot of indicators. In fact, DII is positioning as well. ये तो इतना जल्दी आता भी नहीं है extreme level पर. But again, even this is coming to a point जहाँ पे they are excessively long when the bottom is made. So right now also they have not reached an extreme, but they have reached a point jahan par se we can probably see if there is some sort of reversals. But like I told you, I mean, if you see the client long position, so they are almost highest long whenever the bottom occurs, like you see over here, like you see over here, like you see over here. This was election day low, and this time there has been a record long position from the clients. So somewhere I think over here a reversal can happen. But as I mentioned, I mean, ये सारे extreme reading होने के बावजूद I'm not seeing too many stock, I mean too many promoters coming and buying the stock. But I think ये इसके लिए भी होगा because ये अभी result season था. So I think to track what will happen in next 1 month or so will be interesting, because as उन लोग का वो cooling period बंद हो जाएगा, which is after result, I think there is some cool off period that is there, after which they can come and they can buy from the market. So in the next 15 to 20 days or probably 1 month, it will be interesting to see कितने लोग, कितने promoters आके they come and they buy their stocks. But yes, I think this really helps a lot in because इसमें क्या होता है कि वो प्रमोटर को ही पता है कि अपने बिजनेस में क्या होने वाला है, एंड इफ यू ट्रैक देयर एक्टिविटी, सो टू मेजर एक्सटेंट आपका लाइफ इजी हो जाता है. द ओनली थिंग दैट यू नीड टू असेस एंड जज इज दैट वेदर दे आर फूलिंग अराउंड और नो. I would like to give you one example which I had found, which I had discussed in the previous webinar as well. It was Poonawalla FinCorp. Okay. Now, what I found amazing was that when the stock price was at 338, or sorry, it was, yeah, in Jan, when the prices was around 500, that's where they bought around 40 lakh shares. But उससे जब 20-30% डिस्काउंट में मिलने लगा, तब वो ही सेम एंटिटी 7 लाख 5 लाख ऐसे ही ले रहा है. इनफैक्ट ये जितना प्राइस नीचे जा रहा है उतना उनका क्वांटिटी कम हो रहा है, whereas it should be the other way around. Okay, and then you sort of try and link it. Okay, this is into microfinance is going through a very bad patch. तो कभी कभी क्या होता है कि ये promoters आके ना, they just buy it just to improve the sentiment. So this I had very much observed in Lupin as well. So Lupin क्या कर रहा था जब the prices are falling, I think in 2017. Okay, you can see over here, and you can see the date as well. So this I was following it, that's why I know. Lupin in 2017, it was I think somewhere around this phase. हाँ, इट वाज अराउंड दिस फेज जब प्रमोटर आके बाइंग करने लग गया था. ओके, लाइक यू कैन सी ओवर हियर, you can see over here 15th November. Okay, somewhere after this big fall that it had seen. तो यहाँ पर से ना वो प्रमोटर ने बाइंग थोड़ा बहुत करना चालू कर दिया था, बट इससे क्या हुआ, इंटरिम तो आया पुल बैक, बट यू नो वट एवर बाइंग दैट यूज टू डू, इट वॉज मिनिस्क्यूल, मतलब एज कंपेयर टू द मार्केट कैप दे होल्ड. आई मीन, this was 4 crore. They had a market cap of, I think, somewhere around 50-60 thousand crore at that point of time. Okay, हम लोग आके 4 करोड़ का बाय कर रहे थे, तो इट वाज बेसिकली 0.01%. एंड इवेंचुअली उन्होंने थोड़ा टाइम बाय किया, बट देन एज द स्टॉक स्टार्टेड राइजिंग हायर, सो यू कैन सी दैट 30th November, नहीं, इनफैक्ट सॉरी, दे वेंट ऑन फॉर अ वाइल. इट वाज टिल December 2017. Okay, sorry, it was till what, 8th of December. Okay, so 8th of December was somewhere around this point. So यहाँ से जब ये स्टॉक बढ़ना चालू कर दिया, okay, then they stopped buying, and in fact then the surprising part was that they did not buy it in this phase. You can see over here they did not buy it at all. So sometimes you have to see it that way as well, that अगर वो ऊपर जाके वापस नीचे आ रहा है, then are they buying it or no, or had they done it just to show के, or basically they did it just to improve the market sentiments. But you can see that यहाँ से भी eventually it fell to all the way to 500 sort of levels, and it kept falling lower until it made a major bottom. So you have to sort of get out of this trap as well, and basically see the quantum. मतलब अगर आप मान लो कि 1 लाख करोड़ का कंपनी है, ठीक है, and they are just buying 4 crore shares from the market, it doesn't move the needle much. But yes, if they come and they buy off 100 crores, then it makes a significant change to their shareholding. So that is what I mean. These are some ways basically in which you can try and understand whether the promoter is just trying to fool you around by थोड़ा बहुत buy करके वो मार्केट सेंटिमेंट इंप्रूव करना चाहता है, और जेन्युइनली दे लाइक इट, बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट जब स्टॉक गिरने लगता है तब उनका क्वांटिटी एक्चुअली बढ़ने लग जाता है. ओके, देन द अदर वे अराउंड. So always try to find those patterns through the insider tradings, and I'm very sure that you will find some very good stocks that will give you good returns. I think I had mentioned this in the past as well, that there was this stock called as Lincoln Pharma. They used to come and they used to buy almost every day from the open market, and if you see their quantity also, it used to be very meaningful. Okay, so I think yeah, as and when the stock price started rising higher, उनका quantity, buying quantity कम होने लग गया. But when you see the shareholding, Linking Pharma, it had moved all the way from 42% to 49. So basically that's how you can catch these stocks through the insider trading. And if you want to see the price performance of Lincoln Pharma, it did exceedingly well. So basically this was the entire phase in which they were accumulating. So if you see this stock, all the way from 250, 300, it went all the way to almost around 1,000 sort of levels. So it would have given a good move. Now just watch out what the promoters are trying to do when this stock price is falling. Are they buying? Are they not? It might give you some hint of its future move. So yes, I think that's it from my side. Just to reiterate once again, whenever the promoters are buying the stock, it is a sign of strength. And especially actually you need to see whether they are constantly buying or not, whether their the buying volume is increasing or no. I think in Shakti pumps, as I told you, I had seen this volume increase pattern that was happening. When was it that I had seen? So yeah, you can see over here that at 500 they used to buy 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. But when it was falling, they were actually coming and they were buying a lot. So at 217 they were buying 5,700. In fact, when it went to 181, okay, they bought 83,000 stocks, shares. One of this example which I remember very well was, SKM egg product. I mean, this promoter is actually very smart, because in the time of COVID, they were basically buying the stock all the way from 80, and they buy it to and they bought it to as low as around 20 25 levels as well. If you see the stock price, from the COVID low of 20 or so, it went all the way to 550 or so. And in fact, now the funny part is that within the same sector there was a company called as Ovo Bell. Okay, they did not buy, but when the market was very good, okay, and basically later on when I studied this company, I understood that there was some cyclical upturn that has happened. The egg prices were rising higher a lot, and they were making phenomenal profit, like never before. And at that point of time, you can see that it peaked in 2023. Okay, now if you see Ovobel, this was a stock that peaked in 2023, and you can see the promoter, they had started selling all the way from 2000, from June only. So you can see that 263, 290, 300, 310. Then this is where they started selling aggressively. Earlier they were selling just 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 stock, but here 36,000, 25,000, 24,000, 51,000, 78,000. And if you see, I don't know if this is yeah, so this is actually not NSE listed stock, but yes, if you see the prices, from 300 it has fallen all the way to 65. So these promoters are basically smart. They know what is happening in their business, and they will keep selling. On 6th of December, okay, the acquisition they also did, that was actually a transfer only from one entity to other entity, and that's why it happened online, offline. Otherwise, you can see that everything was a market sale, market sale, market sale. So if you keep a tab on this data, you will surely get a lot of insights, and it is very easy. I mean, you just have to go to the bulletin board, go to insider deals, and it is very straightforward. You can also apply filters over here, and that will surely make your life a lot more easier. So I think with that I am done. If there are any questions now, then we can take it up. Stocks 4 or 6% up. Show me miss buying. No. So Premal Desai, this 4-6% stock that you are talking about, these are all captured in the bulletin board. Okay, if you go say in Nifty 500, which are the stocks that are rising higher today, these are all stuff that you will get it in the insider, I mean in the dashboard itself. You just have to select some of the, I mean the index that you want to see. If I want to see say Nifty total market cap, which comprises of Nifty 500 plus the entire micro cap stocks. In fact, you can also make a watch list. So what I've done is that I've made a watch list of NSC all 500 stocks. So यहाँ पे when I am doing the filter, I can get to know which are the outperformers, which are the underperformers, and so on. Okay, for the day. So ये level वाला scanning, you can do it over here. In fact, there are a lot more other things that we give, like open is equal to high कौन से stock में है, open is equal to low कौन से stocks में है. So these are all the things that you will find it over here. and which are the stocks that are making new 52-week low, or which are the stocks that are making new 52-week high. All these insights you will get at the dashboard. So जो भी बेसिक स्क्रीनर रहेगा दैट यू विल गेट इट, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल वॉल्यूम बजर्स कौन से है, दीपक नाइट्राइट इज द वन वेयर देयर इज अ ह्यूज स्पाइक इन वॉल्यूम. तो ये सारी चीजें आपको यहाँ पर मिल जाएंगी. ओके, द ओनली थिंग इज दैट इफ यू वांट एन अलर्ट फॉर द स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक, at this point of time we don't have it, but as I told you, I mean, once we bring the system time down to 1 minute, later on we'll start rolling out more and more features, which includes alert, notification, and many other fundamental scanners and so on. uh, and yeah, just to reiterate once again for the people who have joined us just a while back, we are actually running an offer, okay, where you will basically get 1 year ka subscription at 4200. Okay, and you will get 6 months ka subscription at 2500, which is almost like a 30 to 35% discount. There is a payment link which you can see in the chat box, that I'm highlighting over here, which is by the name of strike_money. If you go over there and you basically copy that link in the URL and make the payment, then basically you will get this offer. And once you, and this is exclusively for this webinar only, once you get, I mean, once you make the payment, just let us know in the chat box so we can activate your subscription right away. Okay, so we have just posted that message right now, so you can just go and you can check it. The next is from Kostub. So Kostub, honestly, we are not planning to make a mobile app at this point of time. What we will do is that after few weeks or a couple of months afterwards, we'll start working on a mobile application. I mean, we are already doing that, but you will see a browser. I mean, you can see Strike on the browser of the mobile app. I mean, in the mobile. That is what we are actually honestly doing, but we are not thinking of a mobile app, just to be very honest. uh, can we ask sir to go a bit slow, ma'am? Okay. I'm sorry, basically this recording will be available on Strike, so you can check this recording once again. And sorry if I was fast, but if you have any questions, then I'm happy to address it. uh, in this day, is this data helpful in FNO trading also? No, Samir, this is not honestly helpful for FNO. But if you have a positional view, then it works well, because none of the promoters buy for, as I mentioned to you, they don't buy it for 5-10%. And in fact, large companies don't buy it. I have only seen this activity majorly happening in the small stocks only, or in large stocks like Lupin. I had saw only when there was a very big correction. That's where they come and they buy. Uh, but otherwise, it is honestly not helpful for FNO trading. Uh, View on Natco. Sorry, I can't discuss stock due to the SEBI regulation. Whatever I mentioned over here today basically was for educational purpose, and there was no intention to give any recommendation. But it is just to share you the thought process as to why we had built that screen. That was because I personally used to see all this data, and with Strike, everything is now at one place. So the whole idea was to share with you the technique that we follow, that can probably help you. So are there any scanners for intraday trading? I think you had asked me in the previous webinar as well. As of now, our system timing is 5 minute delayed. So the lowest time frame that we are showing in the scanner is basically hourly. Okay, we are not going below hourly. But once we bring down the system time to 1 minute delayed, that time we will put more and more features for the lower time frame, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 10 minutes. Okay, but till the time we don't get our system time down to 1 minute delayed snapshot, which might take a little while. But once we do that, we will definitely bring a lot more scanners, which will be helpful for the intraday traders as well. So if there are any more questions, we can. I'm happy to take it. If not, then we'll wind up for the day. Are there any more questions? Okay, so I don't see any questions at this point of time. But if at all you have any questions, just put it on Twitter. We'll try and address it. And like I mentioned to you, people. I mean, we have this exclusive offer that is going on till the webinar is on. In fact, if you want to scan it through the QR code, you can also scan it through this. The subscription charges are 4,700 for 1 month. Sorry, for 1 year. So these all rates are including GST. So and for 6 months it is 2,500, where you will get the entire package, which is of this insider trading, sentiment data, uh, diffusion indicators, heat maps, then FNO futures and options. So you will get this entire package in this. So make sure you take the benefit of this offer, and yeah. So the link is just given 2-3 messages prior to this. Basically over here, you can copy this URL and make the payments over there, and just write to us. We will give the access as soon as possible. So so yes, broadly that's all for today. We will be doing more webinars, which will be exclusively in Hindi or English. And please make sure to follow us on Strike. Okay, you will get a lot more updates over here. And in fact, whatever webinars we do or whatever post that we put over here, I'm sure you will find it very helpful. And like I told to you, I mean, whatever insider activity that we discussed today, we actually make a summary of this and post it on Strike, somewhere around 12 to 1 p.m. So you can get a quick glance through this. So make sure to follow us on Strike. And if you want to see the recording of today's webinar, go to YouTube and go to Strike under, so Strike IC, or you can do Strike Money. So here, once you subscribe it, you just subscribe it, you will get all the notifications of our latest video. And in fact, in this live section is where you will get all the webinars. So that's all for today. Thanks a lot for joining us. In fact, there is one question that is there from Abhishek Chavra. If there is insider buying, but that said stock is at plus 2 sigma, can we take a positional view there? So see, Abhishek, interesting question. I mean, this is what I mentioned to you. So you have to judge based on the promoter intention. Okay, why is he doing that? If you're saying that it is plus 2 sigma and they are buying it, that means in the next few quarters the results should be very good, right? And if that is not happening, then that is a trick that they are trying to play, with the market, showing that they are buying the stock thinking that, oh, a lot is going to happen. But whenever they do such thing, I'm very sure they will not buy a lot of quantity, because if the stock is very overvalued, okay, I'm sure they will not buy to the extent, where they increase their stake by 3, 4, 5% in that specific year. So try to find out that. I gave you this example of Poonawalla FinCorp, because when the prices were going lower, the quantities were decreasing. So this is not really a good sign. um, so that is why, I mean, you just try and understand the behavior of the promoter, whether they are just doing it to show, or whether they really think that the growth is so large in the future that they are continuously buying it. Try to find it. And when you track such companies, and when you track the quarterly result of such company, you will get a fair bit of idea, what are they up to, whether they were fooling around, they were messing around, or do they really mean it. So So yeah, subs. Okay, Karthik subscribed. So fine. Our team is there in this webinar, so they will give you the access as soon as possible. Okay. Once again, thanks a lot for joining today's webinar. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Thanks. Thanks a lot.